Right, it's been a long time since we did a proper thing through the official channels. It's about time we caught up. And there are so many rumours over the last 48, 72 hours about how we're going to end the season, what's going to happen with Oxford United. The fans have been bugging me all day. I'm sure it's been double bad for you. What is the latest situation? Where are we?
Yeah, to be fair, I probably know just as much what the fans do, Chrissy. I think we're all aware that there's going to be a vote this week. I think that's not just in the EFL, it's in the Premier League. And I think along with that brings its different permutations, obviously. The outcome of the vote will obviously determine the conclusion or the continuation or the deferral of a start date or whatever that may be. And that's all we really know. We're obviously, our players are still on furlough, so I know they're doing their own stuff, what they need to do at home. They get what they've got to do at this time. The second that we know that we're able to play and our players are able to train, and people can use training ground right now, but we can officially back open it when the EFL allow us to, or the regulations with the government allow us to. So other than that, we are probably as in the dark as anybody else right now.
What would you? This is a leading question. I know it's a leading question. Do you think the season is going to end? Do you think the current season that we are still in will end?
I've got two answers for that. Do I think it'll end, and what do I want to happen? Well, I think the first thing and foremost, and I think maybe the reason why the club was speaking about doing this interview was, I think it's important that the fans of Oxford United know what our decision will be. So I've heard so many rumours over the last 48 hours. I've heard so many rumours over the last 7 days, so many rumours over the last 14 days. Here's the rumours cleared up. Oxford United want to play. Yeah. End of. If it's safe, if it's the Thames Valley Police support it, if the government allow, if the EFL want it, if other teams want it, Oxford United's vote will be to continue the season at a date that is safe for everybody. Understanding if it gets to a certain date that is not right, that we can't spoil 2 seasons. What we've also mentioned is we would like to know why, if people don't want to play, and that's, again, we respect wherever they are and whatever their motives may be. People might say our motives are because we want to go up, that's just why we want to play. But I'm also hearing there's different permutations that if we don't play, there's still a possibility that you could. We'd much rather play. It is that simple, Chris. And I heard Darren McAntney speaking, and I half agree with some of the things he says about wanting to play. I know there's other teams that want to play as well. My big thing is, and if people don't, I can't see why the top 10 can't play in a playoff. And my theory behind that is that we all play each other once, but we all start on our points tally that we've accumulated for the season and our goal difference that we've accumulated.
A certain number higher.
It's not fair on Coventry to go a flat shootout. It's not right. They've worked too hard. They've been wonderful all season. So what are they, 5-6 points clear of Rotherham? Yeah. Well, that's where we start. We should be 2 points behind Rotherham. The other 2 teams in Fleetwood should be on the same points as us, and Peterborough and Ipswich or Gillingham. That's suddenly got to decide who gets into that top 10. Should start on what the points difference is, where we sit right now with our goal difference. And we all play to the once. I think it's quite fair. I think it gives everyone another opportunity. So you can see a lot of our thoughts and on our preparation for this is to play. The longer it goes on, the more I'm hearing there's less people that want to play. So it does throw into question what we think will be the outcome. And I think it has certainly sowed a few seeds of doubt into my mind over recent weeks. But I am preparing, I am thinking, I am guiding what we have to do now as a staff to prepare to play and to prepare to play next season as well. So I've never been as busy away from football. And that's where I am on it right now.
Let me just clear that up. You said you're hearing some people don't want to play. You don't mean the players, you mean other clubs or...
Yeah, and again, Chris, I have to respect that as well. I don't know other football clubs' financial situation. Every player I have spoken to, not Oxford United players, other players from other football clubs, are telling me that they want to play as well as players. I understand even being critical, the PFA have really let people down, only wanting to deal with the players. The PFA are part of the football organisation within the United Kingdom, within England, and they should support their players, which equally, if you support the clubs, that supports the players. Hopefully you get some sort of assistance for the Premier League moving forward. Chris, we're in a time that not any of us have ever experienced before. And at no stage do I speak about my love and desire to return to football without a thought for the ones that have passed over this tragic time. So at no stage are we being oblivious to the world's problems right now. We're always respectful of that. We're always in awe of the people in the front line and the NHS who are doing a wonderful job, and the scientists who are trying to find the vaccine within Oxford as well. We're immensely proud of them to have that within our own boundaries. So at no stage have I come to you as a football manager with this desire to play with the lack of respect for the situation right now. And that's also important, because when we're always speaking about public, people sort of start to throw at you, well, that means you don't care about what's going on.
No.
And that's not the case. We really do. But like I say, if other clubs are in a situation that they're struggling with, well, I think it's also important, Chris, that our board, when I first came here on the 22nd of March, 2 years ago, just gone, we had a plan to be competitive, not to get promoted, to be competitive in year two. And we made some signings to be competitive in the first summer, with injuries and loss of form and some terrible luck that we had in the first part of that season. I remember the first game losing 2 players, Eastie in the warm-up, and then Ricky's back kept going. So people can say you signed the wrong players because they got injured, but we had good players. We just couldn't find the rhythm. But what that certainly did was, behind the experienced players, we knew there was a plan to grow Oxford United to be competitive in League One, to be a force. And we sit here right now, for the first time in a long time, one of the real strong contenders within League One, which is great to see and great to say. So we don't want to waste what we've done. Our owners have invested very, very heavily. The training ground is the best they've ever had, and a great place. The relationships that we're starting to build with Faroka at this moment in time seem to be getting better, which is only great for the football club, even though people might not want to hear that. That is facts of it. The better we are with relationships with people within Oxfordshire, the better this football community is going to be. So we feel that we're in a really good place. And I had a conference call with all of the different investors, whether it be in Indonesia, whether it be in Thailand, or Vietnam as well, where some of our other shareholders live. And the big consensus was that our board want to continue playing our players and make sure they're ready to perform, to play. And I think that's a real sort of, it's the first time I've really gone, this is serious. The board's serious, if that makes sense, Chris, because they've really put themselves up there to really be supportive of our players. And then I see what Tiger does with the masks. So we feel as a football club we're in a really, really, really good place. And the last thing we want to do is to let this season pass and make it void.
But you mentioned it there, and you're right in what you said. You've built a team. Between the whole lot of us, we've built a club over the last couple of years, and so much hard work has gone into it. I don't just mean who you signed and what the recruitment has done. The last 6-7 weeks, the fans have seen what a brilliant club this is, the way that we've helped everybody around Oxfordshire, helped the fans, the phone calls that you guys have made. It's a club, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the thing is, though, Chris, people have only seen that because we're not playing.
Yeah.
And I think what that's done, it's almost brought forward what we've been doing. The difference is because we have no football to talk about, we sort of have a little bit more, not time or space, but we sort of, the other things that we do give us an opportunity to show the type of people that we are. whether that be playing football with your kids or whether that be doing challenges like the women's team are doing, whatever that may be. I think this time has really humanised professional footballers. I think it's really brought into line what people really are all about, that we're not just a name, or we are somebody that actually has the same feelings, the same type of upbringing as everybody who sees us from the terraces. And I think I've been so proud to be associated with Oxford United over this period, and knowing what the fans do to try and help. And there's so many things that I know that I can't say because people have asked me to keep it private, but the conversations that I'm having, I know one of our fans lost their granddad not too long ago. I phoned him the morning of the funeral just to see how they were. And I know even the time that you've gone through, Chris, of late, the whole club sort of sticks together, and it's a real sense of community. And I've always said about being brought up in the Liverpool philosophy that as a fan first and foremost, about the tribal nature that you can bring to an area, and a sense of community and a sense of togetherness and a sense of humility that actually makes you feel all the same, like you're fighting for the same cause. And whether that be to get young kids of Oxford back in the stadium, whether that be to see teams fight for you, whether that be the emotional roller coaster, whether that be the stupid decisions that I make or the wrong selection that I make people, but whatever it may be, we do it all together. And I think that's a real powerful place to be, that there's no one individual that sort of sets himself aside to be any bigger or better than the badge. And that to me is so important, that even the badge that Tiger changed, and it's just there's something about the football club right now that it's a real nice place to be in, and a real proud place to be, especially as the manager as well.
I think the message that I'm getting here is we need a little bit of clarity. We need to know how the season's going to end, when the next one's going to start, so we can start planning. You can do your retained list. We can start doing season tickets is an interesting one. We've had 2 Zoom calls that I've been on, and I know you've done about 4 of them, with fans canvassing their opinion. How on earth are we going to sell season tickets if we don't know how this season's ending?
Oh, well, I think the board have really done a great job getting us to this period, and cash flow in June and July is going to be, it's quite a terrifying place for us all to be. And the reality of not playing again could be the opportunity where you might end up losing some of your players that you didn't think you'd lose if you got promoted. Yeah. But equally on top of that, how the season tickets come to the top of your list, because, like we said before, there's people dying all over the world, and we're talking about asking people to pay money. But the one consensus I got, and you know what, I don't think they were being aggressive when they said that. I think I got asked, do you think we're customers? Now, it brought me back to my last football club, where the owner actually thought that the fans were customers, and it sort of was the biggest divide. And I think that really honed in on me, that we don't have customers at Oxford United. We have fans and a family that we stick together. And they were saying, if that means me buying a season ticket, it gives greater support and some element of hope for everybody moving forward. Listen, one day this is going to be a story that we tell our kids and our grandchildren and whatever it may be. So things will move on at some stage. and I think the season ticket conversation was one that we were so fragile about bringing up and having a conversation about, that we felt doing it in the right way and asking the fans when they thought was correct. And they almost were saying to us, well, if this helps our football, we want to help.
Yeah.
And I think David Garth coming in and speaking about people in the current economic crisis that we all live in, people can't sometimes afford to do that. And that was you heard me say this, my big worry, if somebody's going through a bad time now, I've got family and friends who are self-employed that aren't getting paid.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like, paying your bills, worrying about your kids' sort of schooling, worrying about your own psychological sort of well-being, worrying about your partner. People are going through times internally within their own household right now that is extremely difficult, not to mention how horrible it is outside that household with COVID-19. So there's 2 elements to this, and we were so fearful of asking that question. And David Garfield, when he said, well, we can put plans in place, we can reserve things, we can do 1 or 2 things to separate it if people can or can't do it short term. And I just thought he was so creative, and so, again, and we keep using that word, humility, Chris, but carrying ourselves with humility is one that, and respect is something that, if Oxford United don't carry themselves with that, I don't want to be the manager of the football club. That's me being a little bit. And I think equally our board if we start losing humility and respect, I don't think that's a club they want to be associated with, because they've bought into a football club with fans who have respect and tremendous humility, and it's something that we have to carry through. We were speaking earlier about, I just watched a documentary on the cricket, and seeing Justin Langer about what he wanted to bring into the Australian cricket team is what we stand for anyway. That we speak about process all the time. We speak about respect. The badge comes first. The team comes first. The fans come before us. We never play for ourselves. It's always our family, friends, and fans as well. It's everything that we do is embedded within our football club, and we just hope that the season tickets for next season, when they do go on sale, which we're getting told to do by the fans, by the way, that we've spoken to, the sooner the better in some ways, that we know that will give us a greater understanding of where we sit for next year and what our wage bill can be. And there's a real sense of, you sort of took a breath at that moment and went, wow, it's a real powerful place right now. And that calmness, that collective sort of approach to tackling this situation was certainly very evident on the calls that we were on.
One last question, and it's about the players, really. This is a tough time for everybody. Mentally, where are they? Physically, where are they? And if we were told, okay, the season's going to start now, how long would it be before you could have those players ready to play safely? Because they've got to be physically fit.
Yeah, I think 4 weeks would be fair. Physically, mentally, we feel we've got a tremendous setup with Gary and the work that we've done over the time. And I know there's the stuff that we've even been spoken about in the House of Commons. I got to meet the Prince. That it just shows this football club is certainly leading the way off the pitch as well, and that is certainly something that we took tremendous care of our players with Gary, and constantly speaking to them. So we know from that point of view that they're in not too much of a bad place. We know physically it'll probably take them 4 weeks, but don't forget, Chris, we've come off the back. People keep talking about sort of football integrity and respect. I go back to my players, because we got to the knockout stages of leasing.com. Yeah. We got to the quarter bloody finals of the Carabao Cup. We got to the 4th round, and a Premier League team had to take us to extra time and score a worldie to beat us. We're 3rd in the league. Yeah. We've sold over £3 million worth of players at Christmas. We've sold £2 million plus players the summer before. These players have been incredible for 12 months. And even from Christmas last year, you can argue, Chris, 18 months since the turn of the calendar year, they've really stood up, and right now they're standing up and they're being respectful of the situation. I speak to some of them on a regular basis, and their families are well and healthy, which is the first question that we always ask. And they just want to play, and they want to wear that yellow shirt, and hopefully we'll get that opportunity to wear it again and not have to wait till next season to participate in that. And we just hope from the bottom of our heart all the fans are well and healthy, and if anybody listening to this has lost somebody that is a loved one or a family member or whatever it may be, we send our wishes and our prayers to them through this terrible time. Anybody struggling psychologically, and we do just remember that conversations help, and speaking to people is also important. And we do care for every Oxford United fan, and I think we've tried to show that in this period. But we just felt it was right to do this interview tonight, and just to say to the fans of our football club that your players want to play, your board want to play when it's right, and if it is ever right. But equally, whatever the decision that lies upon the EFL, Oxford United will respect it and take it with the dignity and respect it deserves, and humility as well. And we'll just roll with the punches, whatever they may be. And we just hope that everyone respects that. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not trying to dig anybody out. We're just saying that we've had a few clubs saying they want to play, but we're certainly one of the ones when it's safe to play, when it's safe, that we think that we would like the opportunity to kick a football again for our football club.